You are listening to Second Chance Ministry Radio. And now, let's hear the scripture of the day.
Today's scripture reading begins in verse 14 of Matthew chapter 25. Jesus is speaking. For it is just like a man about to go on a journey, who called his own slaves and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his own ability. And he went on his journey. Immediately the one who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them, and gained 5 more talents. In the same manner the one who had received the 2 talents gained 2 more. But he who received the 1 talent went away, and dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. Now after a long time the master of those slaves came, and settled accounts with them. The one who had received the 5 talents came up and brought 5 more talents, saying, Master, you entrusted 5 talents to me. See, I have gained 5 more talents. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful slave. You are faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. Also, the one who had received the 2 talents came up and said, Master, you entrusted 2 talents to me. See, I have gained 2 more talents. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful slave. You were faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. And the one also who had received the 1 talent came up and said, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. And I was afraid, and went away, and hid your talent in the ground. See, you have what is yours. But his master answered and said to him, You wicked, lazy slave, you knew that I reap where I did not sow, and gather where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have put my money in the bank, and on my arrival I would have received my money back with interest. Therefore, take away the talent from him, and give it to the one who has 10 talents.
The Lord gives us resources and abilities, and He intends that His followers use them well. One such gift is time. In order to manage our coming days effectively, we should continually review the one we've just lived. What activities did we choose? How much time did each take? What were the results? This discipline will reveal what is most important to us. In looking closely at our assessments, we can determine what drives our decisions about how to use time. Some people merely respond to circumstances for a majority of their day. They jump from one thing to the next, handling whatever appears in their world at the moment, whether personal, family, or business matters. Other people spend their time according to desires. They want to relax, so they get home and watch television for the evening. Or they love to hunt, so they use their time to research equipment and locate wildlife in the forest. Not all desires are bad, but they should not drive the bulk of our actions. Thankfully, there are also people who live according to what they deem important, Christ-honoring activities. Loving God and serving others, for instance, are 2 biblical values that should, ideally, determine what we do with our time. Of course, many of us spend a portion of our time fulfilling the demands of an employer, but if you itemize your activities and their time consumption over the course of a week, you might be surprised at which are the predominant events. Each moment is a gift, so set aside a few minutes each evening to plan the next day. Then, revisit how you spent the last 24 hours. This will help you to live purposefully.
You are listening to Second Chance Ministry Radio.